Were the Browns overrated?
I don't think they were overrated, but I don't think they were prepared. Their heads were not where it needed to be in this ball game. I don't think the focus was where it needed to be. Skip, you can talk all you want to. You can accumulate all the talent you want to, and you can talk about this is a new beginning, and I got my guy calling the plays, and I don't care what anybody thinks of me. All I care about, all that's fine and good. But all those other 31 teams, and if they're on your schedule, they hear all that talking. And they hear, the Browns are the sexy pick for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield has this many bets on the MVP. Yada, yada, all that, Skip. You don't think the Tennessee Titans, you don't think Mike Vrabel? Guys, they have already won this game. Y'all just happen to be a blip on the radar for them to bigger and better things. And one team came to play 60 minutes of football, and one team came to play one drive and thought that one drive would kill the other team's morale. And it didn't. Skip, they wasn't ready to play. I'm looking at Odell. Skip, Odell comes on the field with a $350,000 watch. For what? Why do you need a watch that costs 350 bands? On the field. Skip, who are you trying to impress? Because, okay, let's just say, Skip, that was an endorsement or a sponsorship. That shows, if that's the case, shows me where his head is. If you got that watch on, so what? Who are you trying to impress on the field with a watch like that?
Good question.
How much was it?
$350K. It's a Richard Mille.
Oh, no big deal.
Yours is worth more than that.
Shh, man, please. I wish I might spend $350,000 on a watch.
I didn't know it was that much. I noticed it. Jeez.
But for what, Skip? That just goes to show mindset. Skip, you ain't trying to play no football. Skip, look. Did I want to look nice? Yes. I wanted my socks that a certain height. I wanted my pants to fit in jersey. But all that other stuff, did I have a chain on? Absolutely. But Skip, I wasn't wearing no watch, no bracelets. For what? This ain't the club. I ain't trying to impress nobody. These dudes out here ain't trying to impress by you. Everybody makes money. Maybe not as much as Odell, but they got bread too. Who you trying to impress? What is going on that you feel? So know what, Skip? He gonna score. What he was gonna do, Skip, he gonna score a touchdown. That's what time it is. It's Odell time.
You're right.
It's Odell time. That's what time it is. Cleveland. It's time. The time has arrived. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. Man,
sloppy.
Their minds were in the wrong place. One game is not going to determine it, but I just think that from what I saw from this ball game yesterday, they got a ways to go, Skip.
Okay.
They got a ways to go. And if they think that they can just try that, they got Odell and they got Landry and they got Njoku and Chubb and Baker's going to take the next step. Man, teams don't care anything about that.
They don't care.
Skip.
No.
They got a new target on their back.
Yes.
The Cleveland Browns are in the sights of everybody.
Yes.
We're going to get them and put them back in their place.
Correct.
I believe they were overrated. I'm still rooting like mad for Baker.
Sure.
But I still think Pittsburgh will prove to be a little better in that division. But I hope that they can bounce back against the Jets on Monday Night Football, and I think they can. But here's why they're overrated at this point. 3 reasons. Number one, the new head coach. He's a first-time head coach. He only coordinated for the back half of last year. That's the first time he's ever called plays in the NFL. He's proving already to be a player's coach who's trying to do everything possible to keep too many stars happy, and it won't work.
Nope.
And the truth is that his number one job is just to be Baker's big brother. And every once in a while, you got to have somebody who's more than just the big brother of the team.
Correct.
He has to be able to instill some discipline.
Right.
They had 18 penalties yesterday. The Browns haven't had 18 since 1951.
Who are you going to be with that many penalties?
Okay, nobody. At home or away, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win. And too many of them came at terrible times.
Most inopportune of times.
Number 2, they're missing their coordinator, Greg Williams, who I'm a big fan of. He brought last year some edge to that defense. They played with a chip on their shoulder pads, and they played some mean, nasty kind of football, and they overachieved. They're more talented now, obviously, but they didn't look the same to me. They didn't play with the same conviction and commitment, and they didn't play as fast as they played under Greg Williams.
No.
Okay? So then we come to the quarterback. It's just too much too soon for a second-year quarterback. Now, every commercial I see, it's kind of like Dak a year ago.
Yeah.
Every commercial I see, he's in it.
A lot going on.
Okay, you're a sophomore quarterback. You're trying to figure it out, and all of a sudden you're the it kid in the NFL. And it's hard to live up to that because after a while, people are saying, we're going to put him back in his place, too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
He was fun last year. He's not fun to the opponents anymore.
Skip, you look at his numbers. This was the worst that I've seen. If you didn't know better, you swear this was his first start.
Yep. Yeah.
Not probably his 11th or 12th start.
After the opening drive.
After the opening drive. 3 interceptions, a safety. He was high, he was low. He was all over the place with the football.
Yep.
Now, Tennessee is a physical team.
They are.
They'll come get you now.
Remember what they did to Dallas on Monday night last year? It was devastating. When Dallas fell to 3-5 because they just came out and punched them right in the mouth.
Skip, you think Cameron Wade could help the Dolphins? No, that's nothing.
Whole nother issue.
Skip,
yep.
He was playing.
Okay.
Skip, I don't get this. Robinson, who's the best left tackle, if you could say that's what he is, because he's been terrible basically every place he's ever been.
Okay.
And he gets kicked out of the game for kicking the man in the face.
Okay. And you got to give Baker the benefit of this, because then the kid who comes back in to back him up, Kendall Lamb, he immediately gets hurt on the play that turned into the safety.
Yes.
So now you're down to your third string left tackle, who's probably your guard. So you're mixed and matched. So he wasn't being protected in the fourth quarter the way he should be.
Right.
And I'm not sure they're great in the offensive line to start with.
They're not.
Good point.
And so all of a sudden, Baker, it's expectations, as you always say. He tries to do way too much in the fourth quarter, and he starts throwing it to the other team. And I worried about Baker, and I brought it up on this show. Do you remember the third preseason game, dress rehearsal game? Baker Mayfield against Tampa, who didn't prove to be very good yesterday against San Francisco. Baker in the third preseason game went 10 of 26 for 72 yards with no touchdowns and a pick. And it was an ugly night.
Yes.
And I started seeing that again in the fourth quarter yesterday. So are you sure? Are you sure? Because every once in a while at Oklahoma, he'd have one of those little stretches where he'd go real hot and then completely cold. Right. So are you sure? Because I love him, and I think he's going to be really good. But I thought after the opening drive, he was like making an MVP statement.
Yeah. Skip, but I got to put this on Freddie. The head coach is
well, trust me, he's going to be the fall guy for this if it goes south.
Well, Skip, as the head coach, it's your job
to
make sure your team is ready to play.
They were not ready.
Not just your offense, not just Baker. You're the head coach. You're the head coach of the football team, not just the offense. So you got to make sure they're ready to play also. Defense, they Skip. I mean, Derrick Henry catches the ball and goes 75 yards untouched.
I agree. I saw a lot of half-hearted effort.
Yeah.
Greg Williams would throw a fit over this.
But sometimes, Skip, that's the hardest thing to get out of a team that's been losing for an extended period of time, because once it starts to go south, they're like, okay, well, here we go again. Let's just go ahead and get this over with. And you don't continue to play and rally like you would if it was in a close ball game. This was a poor performance. I'm not going to write them off just yet, Skip. But they need to show me a little bit more this week than what I saw last week. Because that kind of performance, what we saw Sunday, Skip, that explains 1-15. That explains 0-16.
No, I agree.
That kind of effort.
And I actually thought maybe Odell would have some negative things to say after the game, but guess who did? Jarvis Landry. And he caught only 4 balls for 67 yards, and he was snapping at reporters for asking just realistic questions about, did it hurt that you guys didn't play in the preseason with Baker enough? And he just went off on the reporter. So maybe he was the one. I don't know if he's mad about losing or mad about he didn't get enough balls.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.